They gave me an office in the basement after I retired. Not officially, you understand. The department doesn't acknowledge basement offices exist. But when you've served 33 years, when you've closed more cases than anyone in the division's history, they let you keep a key. They let you have a desk, a filing cabinet, a single fluorescent light that flickers every 47 seconds. I count. I've been counting a lot of things lately. It was October 9th when I found case number 077 again. I hadn't meant to. I was looking for the Brennan file, a robbery from '98 that still itched at me, but my hand fell on the wrong folder, thin, water damaged along the bottom edge, the number written in faded red ink. 077. The Fairhill Lane disappearance. I should have put it back. The case was from 2003, 20 years cold. A young woman named Claire Hastings, 26, reported missing by her roommate, last seen entering her apartment building at 11:47 p.m. on March 14th. Security camera caught her in the lobby. She smiled at the lens, distracted, gentle. She never made it to the third floor. We searched for 6 weeks, interviewed everyone, found nothing. I was the lead detective. I closed it as a voluntary disappearance, moved on. But when I opened the folder again, something felt rearranged. Not wrong, just repositioned. Like when you return to a room and can't name what's different, only that the air itself has shifted. I pulled out the evidence photos, 12 in total, black and white printouts, slightly grainy. The apartment lobby, the stairwell, her apartment door, still locked from the outside. Standard documentation. I laid them across my desk in sequence. And that's when I noticed him. In photo number 7, a wide shot of the lobby from the security camera's perspective, there was a man standing near the mailboxes, blurred, facing away, wearing a dark coat. I didn't remember him. I flipped to my notes. No mention of a man in a dark coat. No interview logged. I stared at the photo for a long time. The fluorescent light flickered. Once, twice, 47 seconds exactly. I went back the next day. I told myself I wouldn't. Told myself it was just age, memory, smoothing over details. But at 8 a.m., I was back at that desk. The folder open, the photos spread like tarot cards. Photo 7, the man in the dark coat. He was closer to the camera now, not by much, maybe 2 feet, but his shoulders were angled differently, less blurred, and his hand was reaching toward the stairwell door. My mouth went dry. I checked the time stamp on the photo. 11:47 p.m., same as before, same image, same evidence log number on the back, but he had moved. I pulled out my phone and took a picture of the photo. Then I put everything back in the folder, locked it in the filing cabinet, and left. I didn't sleep that night. The next morning, I returned. The man was on the stairs. Photo 8, the stairwell between the second and third floors, empty in my memory. But now there he was, halfway up, one hand on the railing, still blurred, still facing away, but present. I went through my old case notes, searched my desk logs, my personal notebooks from 2003, no mention, no interview, no lead. It was as if he had been edited in or edited back. I started checking the other photos. In photo 3, the exterior of the building, there was now a shadow in a second-floor window. In photo 9, the empty hallway outside Claire's apartment, a door at the far end, previously closed, was now slightly ajar. In photo 11, a close-up of her door's deadbolt, I could see a reflection in the brass, a silhouette, standing behind the photographer, behind me. I checked my phone. The picture I'd taken of photo 7 yesterday. The man was farther back in my saved image, 3 steps behind where he was now. He was moving forward through the photos every time I looked. I stopped going home. I slept in my car, showered at the gym 2 blocks over. I couldn't explain it to anyone, not without sounding like I'd cracked, but I needed to know. On the 5th day, I pulled the folder again, all 12 photos. The man was in all of them now. In photo 1, standing across the street. In photo 5, outside the building's side entrance. In photo 12, Claire's bedroom untouched. I could see his coat hanging on the back of her chair. But that wasn't the worst part. In photo 6, a close-up of the mailboxes, there was something new. A name label on box 14. It hadn't been there before. I was sure of it. The label read, Inspector E. Vane. My name. I never lived at Fair Hill Lane. My hands were shaking as I flipped to the final photo, the one I'd taken myself on March 16, 2003. A documentation shot of the lobby from my position near the door. Standard evidence capture. There was someone in the background now, standing behind me in the frame. A blurred shape, dark coat, one arm extended, as if reaching for my shoulder. I checked the reflection in the glass door of the photo. The figure had no face. I went to Fair Hill Lane that night. The building was still there, same brick facade, same stuttering lobby light. The security camera had been replaced, but the bones of the place hadn't changed. I stood where Claire had stood 20 years ago. 11:47 p.m. I don't know why I waited for that exact time, but it felt correct, like a door that only opens at a certain hour. The lobby was empty. Then I heard it. Footsteps. On the stairs. Slow. Deliberate. Descending. I turned. A man stood on the landing between floors. He wore a dark coat. His face was obscured not by shadow, but by something worse, by absence, as if the air refused to hold his features. He didn't speak. He raised one hand and pointed, not at me, at the mailboxes. I walked over. My legs felt distant, like I was puppeting my own body. Box 14. I opened it. Inside was a photo, black and white, grainy, taken from a low angle. It was me, standing in this lobby right now, staring into the mailbox. And behind me, in the frame, Claire Hastings stood perfectly still, her face pale, her eyes wide, her mouth opened in a silent question. I spun around. The lobby was empty. When I looked back at the photo, there was writing on the back, handwritten, my own handwriting. Case No. 077, witness statement never filed. Evidence dismissed. Inspector E. Vane, March 15, 2003. And then I remembered. I had seen him. The man in the dark coat. A neighbor on the 3rd floor called it in the day after Claire disappeared, said he saw someone in the stairwell that night, someone who didn't belong. I took the statement over the phone, told him we'd follow up. But we were stretched thin, budget cuts, 3 other active cases, and the neighbor was old, confused about times, unsure about details. I never filed the report. I never followed up. 2 months later, the neighbor died, heart attack. And Claire Hastings stayed missing. I closed the case. I forgot. But the case didn't forget me. I drove back to the station. The basement was dark. My fluorescent light was off, but I hadn't touched the switch. The filing cabinet was open. Folder 077 sat on my desk. The photos were laid out in a perfect grid, and in every single one, I was there now. In the lobby, on the stairs, outside her door, a blurred figure facing away. In photo 12, the final one, I stood in the center of Claire's bedroom. But I wasn't alone. She was behind me now, clear, focused, her hand reaching toward my shoulder. And in the bottom corner of the photo, written in red ink, report number 077 filed. I looked up. Claire Hastings stood across the desk from me. She didn't speak, didn't move. She just watched. And then, slowly, she placed a new photo on the desk. It was me, sitting here, right now, staring at her. The timestamp read 11:47 p.m., October 14th, 2023. She turned and walked toward the door. I tried to follow, but my legs wouldn't move. I looked down. I was fading, not disappearing, flattening, my edges softening, my body losing dimension, becoming grain and shadow and stillness, becoming evidence. They found my car in the station lot 3 days later. The basement office was empty, the filing cabinet locked. But when they finally opened it weeks after, during a routine evidence audit, they found something strange. Case number 077 had 13 photos now. The last one showed a man sitting at a desk in a dim basement office, his face blurred, his hand frozen mid-reach toward a folder. No one recognized him. No report explained who he was. But if you look closely, in the reflection of the filing cabinet's metal edge, you can see a nameplate on the desk. Inspector E. Vane. And if you count the seconds between the flickers of that old fluorescent light, it's always 47. They say cases go cold, but some of them are just waiting. Waiting for you to remember, waiting for you to look. And when you do, they look back. End of report number 077. The forgotten inspector has left the archive. But the archive has not forgotten.
Another file closed, or maybe just buried. If you want to see what else they tried to hide, stay close. The next case opens soon.